Hi, I'm Jeff Byers, your instructor for this course. This is Annie 235, Character Modeling and Rigging, Module 3. I hope you guys are all staying healthy and well, or well and healthy, and safe. This is Module 3, and we are continuing with our character rigging assignment. The objective for this module is to bind the skin to the joints, paint the weights for the character, and create the base. So let's go ahead and get into Module 3. Now Module 3 will be starting a little bit later so you can sleep in. I'm going to start around 11 o'clock so you guys can open it any time after 11. The objectives are basically, again, once you get the rig bound to the skin, then you got to paint all the weights. So what I usually tell students to do, the best tips I have for them, is that you have a jacket, and what you'll have to do is, what I would recommend is delete all the faces on the inside of the jacket. You don't need those. So delete all the faces on the inside of the jacket. And when you're posing and you notice that you've got pieces that are popping out, you might have to go back before you rig. So what I would do is make sure you have a nice save before you bind the skin. The joints have to be working properly. You should have checked all that before you bind the skin and before you start posing. Okay? So that's really important for you to understand, that you need to have everything cleaned up, ready to go before you bind the skin. Once you bind the skin, you can't delete by type history anymore, so make sure you do that. This is a very extreme pose, and it took a lot of work to paint the weights out. You're going to notice that if you go too extreme, I want you to pose the character, but you don't have to go an extreme pose. Okay? I want it to be dynamic, and I want to fit the character, so feel free to do that and experiment and have fun. But what I would recommend is that my character is a little different. You have a jacket on the warrior, the steampunk warrior character, and you're gonna probably move that leg up, and that jacket or that coat's not going to move with it. So you can do a couple things. You can use the soft select tool, and that will let you paint those weights or paint the jacket and move those around. Or you can use a lattice deformer on the jacket as well if you want to move vertices around. But the paint weight, basically, if you select a vertex, any vertex, and you go to the move tool, you can find it under the soft selection. Okay, so you can use the soft selection to paint the weights, and you can move the jacket out that way, and you can use the B key to expand that out if you want to. Okay, so that's the way you can move the verts around by using the soft selection tool. So feel free to do that. We got the fall off radius in here as well. You can set the radius higher or lower, and that will, change things that way. So make sure that you know that the soft selection tool is there. You can open it by just double clicking on the move tool, and that'll open up, and it's under soft selection. Okay, it's also in your tool kit, okay, under soft selection here, but I like getting it from here. Okay, so to get back, you can hit the B key and you're back to where you were. Okay, so follow the video tutorials I have for this module. Again, you're selecting and binding the skin to the joints. You understand the importance of painting weights, which we've done with the arm and the leg before in our exercises, and then the posing the character on a portfolio turntable. So you can see that I don't care what the base looks like. Mine's pretty simple, right? But you can go complex, but I wouldn't go too crazy. You can also just put it on if you run out of time, put it on a cylinder. Just make sure it's nice and round. I wanted mine to look more like Star Wars type of thing, and I thought that turned out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. So you can have we won't have time for hair, so don't worry about that. So make sure her headphones are on, and you can have her goggles on her head, on her head, or kind of hanging below. You're gonna want to make sure her backpack is with her. If you don't want the backpack on, you can lay it next to her or something like that to make it look flat, and kind of squish it down so it looks like it's flat and on the ground. If you don't want her holding her sword, then feel free to put that on the ground as well. But I would probably have her holding the sword. That would make sense. You can duplicate the sword, kind of look like what I've got going on here if you want to. It's at your discretion how you want to pose the character. Okay? Alright, so make sure you watch the videos. I'm going to have additional videos on how to, and this is going to be tomorrow, how to add the base and render a turntable animation video tutorial. You're going to need to bind the skin and paint the weights. So make sure you read the grading rubric, what I'm looking for. Basically, the arms have to and the legs have to crease properly. Like we talked, we don't want it to look like the garden hose or anything like that. The areas that are going to be harder to take care of are under the armpit. And one of the things I talk about is make sure you don't forget about your book, because in here the book has some great tips as well. 127 through 136. Okay. This video is good too as well. I'm going to have some other videos as well tomorrow morning. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow morning, so that's why I'm a little bit late on for 11 o'clock. So you'll be getting started at 11 on this. Just sleep in and enjoy the nice resting time. But I will have it open tomorrow at 11. So you got to pose the character on the base, and it's got to be in a dynamic way. You don't want her with the arms straight out. We want to have a pose. Okay, you got to have a pose to get those credits for this. So you get 10 points for that. Lighting, rendering, and play blast the turntable animation. Lighting and rendering is basically I need to have some finished pieces, some finished rendering. You don't have to have a turntable render, right? You don't have to have a full render of the turntable. You just need a play blast of the turntable. So basically I need the final completed turntable animation as an MA file. Okay, or MB file, doesn't matter, MB or MA. The student will create a 400 frame turntable animation. It says right here, full frame play blast. Okay, and then I need you to do a front perspective of the full character and a back perspective of the full character. This is a HD. I want you to render. This is the render. So you'll give me some render shots. It's a JPEG file format. And you guys can follow the structure. If you want to get 10 extra credit points, okay, you can create and render a full render 400 frame turntable animation for me, well lit. Textures are on there, compressed with XVID or H.264. You will not get the credit if you give me an uncompressed. That means it has to be compressed XVID or H.264 before I give you the full 10 credit points. Okay? Alright, that's basically it in a nutshell. I wish you the best of luck with Module 3. There's a lot of stuff going on. Painting weights is a tough thing to do. You just got to go slow. And just remember one thing, that I would highly recommend that once you bind the skin to kind of pose her how you want it, right? And then paint the weights. No, just move the arms down a little bit and then paint the weights, because you can kind of see what you need to do. So that's what I do. I just kind of move the arms down a little bit, or spread the legs a little bit, move the legs up a little bit, and try to get the bad parts. And the bad parts will be the knees, the back of the legs, front of the legs, to the sides of the legs. The head is totally going to be messed up because you're going to have your neck and your head. So what I would do is click on the head joint and just flood the entire head and then paint from there. add and take and subtract and get it to where you want it. The elbows won't be too bad, and the wrists won't be too bad. And the fingers, if you see some real bad problems, you'll have to paint. Yeah, painting's a problem and a pain, but once you get it done, and you got it looking good, then. But what I would suggest you do, if you do one arm at a time, and save it. So if you get one arm looking really good, save it and save it in a sequence. So bind the skin, save it, do one of the arms down, and then paint it. Get the arm looking good, save it, then have the arm go in with the elbow creased and get that looking good, save it, do the hand, wrist, save it. Do every single little one and save it, and you should be good to go. Okay? Alright. So anyway, good luck, and wish you the best, and hope you guys stay safe and healthy, and hope all of you guys are having fun at home. I know this is a lot of work, but you're learning a lot too as well, and I hope you're having fun. And I'll see you, and we're going to start our new character in Module 4, so start thinking about what kind of character you would like to do. Now, basically what you're going to do is you're going to do the base character that we did, and you're going to add another outfit. So you're going to totally create a new outfit. You're going to have 4 weeks to do that, and the first week will be you finding or sending me references. You're going to create a basic mood board of all the types of clothing and all that stuff. So start gathering all that information. It can be armor, it can be something totally new. It can be your design, but you have to be really, really good at drawing. Okay, you have to be able to show a lot of detail in your drawings too. Okay, a lot of people can't do that, so they have a hard time, and it's really hard to model from a bad drawing. So I don't really want something simple. I want you guys to really, this is going to be a portfolio piece for you guys. So keep it complex and try to you need to have it manageable though too. You can't have it so complex you can't manage it. So we're talking 4 weeks, and then that's it. So you're going to use the same rig, so please don't make the character bigger or smaller. And you're going to use the same exact rig, so make sure you save the rig. Save the rig before you start painting the weights. Okay, save the rig out by itself and don't touch it. And so you can bring this back in and start creating your other character. Okay, that's about it. All right, I'll see you guys in Module 4.